And in the Eastern region, the Court of Appeal sitting in Koforidua has granted an injunction restraining former Member of Parliament for Hohoe, John Peter Amewu, from holding himself as the former legislator of the area. The suit filed by Professor Margaret Kweku and others from the South traditional areas was filed in December 2024. The whole High Court in July 2024 dismissed an election petition against the election of John Peter Amewu, citing issues with jurisdiction, but an appeal was filed against the High Court's decision. In court on Monday, May 19, counsel for the petitioners, Chachu Chikata, prayed the court to, in the interest of justice, stop the Speaker of Parliament from paying any entitlement to Amewu until determination of the appeal. In their ruling, the three-member panel of judges ordered the Speaker of Parliament not to process or pay any entitlement to John Peter Amewu until the hearing and determination of the appeal.
By their fruit you shall know them. Now, afeni edu fila nankasa so Ghana for the kaya MPP eba power 2016-2017 in a back of CD dollar depreciation. And June the money about with prudent management in tea. Amane dollar no actually say. Excellency Canadian Japan, tia Canadian Japan, regional Amaya TNA.
It is not any economic gurus in this country. It's temporal. It is not any economic gurus in this country that is causing the city to appreciate and the dollar to depreciate. It is the wealth market that they are not demanding the dollars as much as they used to. That is why there's no competition and supply of dollar is exceeding the demand. As simple as that. These are basic economics principles. So we have to be careful with what we are saying about interest rate and all those things. It's not magic. It is the world economy that is falling apart. And the demand for the dollar has gone down. Somebody asked about punctuality.
Ahuto FM 92.3.
Ebucha kachuro bisa last katras now. Utie Canada krumpa ko ohine Japona. Was it as part of a international market and a woman demanded dollars. And ruti nama ene dollar na ho de abafam amasidi no ewosoro tio oye MPP ni ba mapa yentie afenyo markings onu so ni dia odemaye wi a meto magana fo na fe ye assess mabo Canadian Japan we na opa president di no yenko afenyo markings the leader of the MPP.
Look, do you know why the city is stable? I want you to understand, sir. Do you know why the city is stable? The city is stable not because Dr. Forson at the finance ministry is doing anything special. It's because government is not spending. It's because contractors are not being paid. It's because there's no liquid in the circulating in the economy. But this is basic economics. I've been talking to businessmen. A lot of certificates have not been paid since government came into office. Not one. Mainstream government, finance ministry hasn't paid a single soul. What they have been paying, releasing is monies for Jubilee House, fuel for president's car, chief of staff ne car, and a party for walk one up and down. Ebia sikebia himfuba visitor ebia what by a protocol releases, and then maybe other ministries current one expenditure bia will release. But Sikankasa Abembe released to pay private sector entities who have worked for government. Government
92.3.
Right. One political party, different explanations with regards to the appreciation of the city. Now, my way afenoma is the way. So Ghana for Bakaya. Ghana at the for 2 years na yentua external debts. Loans ayaji na yaji our outside Ghana. Ya catch us yen to me for 2 years ni yen service yen loan. Yen be for that 2 years na MPP di be power no. From 2022, 2023, 2024 no na yen service yen loan na yetua no with dollars. Identity as dollar no cost 17 cedis. Say ni yentua. Domestic bond holders ni yentua wo moka. If that is what Afino markets want us to believe. Because yentua ka bia wo Ghana as at the time now so not CD $2 no, na dollar no was soro. Now, if Afino markets is telling us say yentua ka bia yembisa say bond holders are jo mama ba no tua moka ne. Now one krama Dominic Ayine yenko bria Afino markets chairman di ma road fund. Yembisa say e dia boni no di wo ho. Now Afino markets say ene bye ontua contractors ka ontu obi aka wo ma yedi di wom ka ye 20 and dollar no cedi na ho de akosoro Canadian Japan so say world market and omunji dollar 80 party baako explanation bebre ejemu o ni yemfa
Ahoto FM 92.3.
now mamis fu some from unko another one Dada Fred aye MPP ni ba mapa or US yanhwe ono so ni dia oka difa dollar no oka John Dramani Mahama asem. You see, this is the nature of the show. Ye forman ka so voice ni abubom na fe ye bisa Ghana for say so send ete ra Facebook
Ahoto FM 92.3.
Dada Fred you be on page John Mahama asem on page NDC asem or US Dada Fred
re adofonom no credit o kan hunye sidina etima ba from Ghana pa de Ivad Mahama and NDC for my bomber bus mo bajum sidia ye kan wasem yi sidia na wo say the city na nyansam ketu as say sidina tima e kotop ne de ye bomber bus so re adofonom no credit o kan hunye sidina etima ba from Ghana pa de
I was on Facebook or your MPP new
sidia ye kan wasem yi sidia na wo say the city na nyansam ketu as say sidina tima e kotop ne de ye bomber bus so simple. Thank you.
Ahoto FM 92.3.
That is the nature of the show. Dada Fred who's in there?
Re adofonom no credit o kan hunye sidina etima ba from Ghana pa de Ivad Mahama and NDC for my bomber bus mo bajum sidia ye kan wasem yi sidia na wo say the city na nyansam ketu as say sidina tima e kotop ne de ye bomber bus so simple. Thank you.
Ahoto FM 92.3.
No, mommy went on chini. The men are waiting in pension for the past 8 years. Say, after a good tafu na woman ni abayin ka. After woman say yanteti ni amaso. The men are waiting da. Sheti mommy we are on chini. Awanya dango gemini.
Hey, na mieli mfeli. Mama uja. Why what nyama susia udi 6 months ama 4 months pra. Ama chini pra abako. Opa na time chini 7 million. 700,000 chini ba ka. Na so mama wa time. What nyama so mama na chini. And chini 2 bags figure. Kana mja kwa mi say you. Say pra down pra. Say 356. Actually, wait, there's no Papa 700,000. Oh, Mama, too short. Mama, too short. I feel wait, leave my phone to me. I give your mama better to be a mega. Let's be sad. Now you, Mama, every day, we away, Mom, in your day, we away. Why am I country? In your day, we away.
Alaska, maybe kind. I think say. The MPP is a very confused party at this moment.
Confused party
because in be free and sign a bedroom some pimpins way. And in time we feel say governance the and they say governance is continuity. They say bana we kusi we see obisu bana obeto so na say ni hye no edi eso abapa na nka me de sefata say obebona baso ba kwakwa ese at every point be be say di bibia ye amanyosem, and that for me is unfortunate. What you say me I will first and foremost zero down these Kenya Post comments here.
That's right.
To a certain friend saying preparation towards an internal contest bia ever be see oh on wakachi.
Okay.
And I've seen Baumia, I mean, going around delivering some lectures. Let me also start delivering some form of lectures. Give some opinion. Now say minimum we have started apart. But say kasa bia or kasa say nikasa and reflect what is the reality as at 9 Ghana the end say udincho.
Okay.
Look, I even had to go and listen to the video. Which video cry? It wasn't an elaborate lecture on my issue. I think it was a question somebody posed. And on no man answer. And for me, the answer he gave was shallow. Not only shallow, but a contradiction to any earlier statements. As to what result in the strength of a CD against the major international trading crisis. In position. So why the change now? I remember the famous comment said the MPP lost power, the 2024 power in 2022. That was one of his famous comment. Now, that comment on the back of the fact say, I didn't think in an economy between September 2022 to January 2023, the cedi, which was then pegged as 7 cedi a dollar, will slump to 15 cedi on Tiasia.
Anyway, opposition is just staring at you. In 2024 election, MPP lost that election in 2022. I repeat, election 2024, MPP won. We lost the election in 2022.
Okay.
Why? Embrace you know, I am a businessman. All the way to tomato seller, Ghana for opposition is just staring at you. In 2024, 2.3.
Last comment that's So, yes, that statement worked to the extent say, or the new year
that's right.
Actually, how much money on one can say lose here as a result of the slump of the city between this period I'm about September 2022 and January 2023. Into or using as an example, so of feelings, you know, what happens to the ordinary Ghanaian businessman? Have we thought about them? And it was true because at that time, you needed 700,000 Ghana cedi to go for $100,000.
That's right.
That's 7 billion. Then between the space of September to January, you needed extra 8 billion, making 15 billion to go for the same 100,000. It doesn't make sense. Semi businessman, me just do 7 billion, but me pay $100,000 and they acquire importer. Me the 7 billion never call. Now my koji $100,000 within a space of 4 or 5 months. I now need 15 billion, meaning extra 8 billion on my own 7 billion to go for the same $100,000. You are out of business already because there are two way outcomes here. It's either say nyama akotono ubet so say 100 pieces now go far and then you go for 30 pieces. And now you need extra money from another source, say a bank or say a firm to top up to be able to remain competitive on the market. How do you expect the Ghanaian to survive in such an environment? And that is the reality. But you see, the same MPP within this same period. Now, some say, why are we where we are? And yet COVID-19, Russia-Ukraine war. And I was surprised. Say, a country like Russia and Ukraine, war. We say economic engagement and yet that much. Because but this government, because of the dishonesty, but you are quick to go and I should say himself without war say no more cause on the downfall. Or say COVID-19 and we see one of the major causes of that downfall. Then we went to Editor General 92.3. Fair Okabrani a friend secretary about parliament. So that was one fine Wednesday you no call parliament. Sikadodo said what he mobilize because or catch say raise resources just to be able to contain the friend saying
the pandemic.
But the pandemic. we no na ya raise 21.84 billion Ghana cedi, which is equivalent to 3 billion Ghana cedi. Look, from the contingency fund, from the World Bank Group, from the IMF, African Development Bank, the EU, the sale of Bank of Ghana COVID-19 bonds for 2020, 2021 and 2022 fiscal year. Raise an amount equivalent to $3 billion. Alaska. So if you have a responsible government that within this short space can raise that kind of money and still the city will suffer, you can only attribute that amount is poor management of the economy. And it's a mantra. I don't know, say we have the men, not a sham. Because you cannot have an economy within that short space to have $3 million going up and down, and yes, so we still need to use a lot of seed to buy few dollars to be able to go on the import market. It means that there's something wrong with the economy, and that's what I want him to be telling Ghanaians, because that was his stance then, and he didn't understand why Bawumia still wanted to be a president when we were facing such situation. So what has changed? Because I am aware at the time some contractors are confronted us. Now Omusu say in Tiomuka, most of them have not been paid at that time, the contractors. And yesterday the city was struggling. So if today we are seeing a marked improvement in the strength of the city against the dollar, now the catch them say it's because in contractors when you also were not paying.
That's right.
Because we are not spending money. When you are not spending our debt, still the city was struggling. They should tell there was something wrong. But now let me draw your attention to something.
Okay.
You cannot first and foremost discount the entire restructure, the akosu within our gold sales sector to what we are seeing today. Because Okaya under the MPP, a report showed say the amount of gold that they have spoken out of this country was in excess of $1 billion. Today, this government says, look, we are going to consolidate all this gold, like right from the small scale to whatever, and channel and give it only one window of escape from this country, so we can track it. But in the space of 4 months, we have been able to record a transaction to the tune of 2.7 billion in this economy.
Wow.
If you listen to Ato Forsen, or see they are targeting a week of $280 million transaction as far as this gold is concerned, and they are making a projection of in excess of $13 billion transaction in this economy. And if you have an economy that can have an experience of free flow of such money, dollars in our system, to that thing, I'm telling you, there's no way the city will suffer. So you cannot say by magic. Obiatinasi, and we say, Niema dollar and ayari abibiano, and we see a siano, and ye hear a man for Omwa Gudro, Omwonim dear to say Ghana first.
That's right.
We are going to seal all loopholes. Be a man for in Catino gold, no one was a private jet, and buying pa neco, ye for Sobiano, yes, I know. Obia gold be able to man be would be about window not Ghana in your home for so and say Pierre. That is what Mahama has brought to us, and the year who and so papa, oh, see who they should kill us. You know, recently, the gold board intercepted some goals among for smuggle with some cash. So they say, yeah,
that's right.
That has been the stock in trade in the past administration. Smuggle now who say no, you intercept in the past administration, and then Mahama and in the gold board team. Abesano say no gold will move out of this country without passing through that gold board window.
That's right.
So
now we are able to track.
We are able to track any gold that wants to have issue outside this country. In fact, when it comes to even those who embark on the transaction, the crana, you're silly about because you know Biana, remember was our crime. I started to your amount of money be for your license. Wait, just ask Canada. Why not? You are qualified to also be a licensed gold buyer. But for the time being, this board is there to regulate the movement of gold from wherever it is mined to wherever it's going through this window called the gold board, and that is where we are right now. Into the moment, can say a magic, a shepa beer, yet it's being pushed by people who love this country. Modi omoyefu atufo say dey be Ghana first. And I omodi do sa mpempe. So today no, usha as a result of this no, your reserves no ekosoro. And yeah import finances no is becoming stronger and stronger because we are now getting enough dollars to finance our imports.
That's right.
Unlike those days, I would see the baby. And some okay. And then yeah, who can see the kakabia? Odo na I am on same. Just to make sure say you'll be able to survive within a space of our business settings. And nobody should be here to key to us external forces and internal forces. We have heard about this external and internal forces before. So tell Kennedy Japan, for me, I don't want to become an economist.
Okay.
And I thought Sankamania Ninja so no original so kase enye magic bia but obi question or answer one church mo do bia die na be tra nye bia na mo so a che na hu nti ende ye do be because of the stability of the seed no. Have you seen the cascading effect?
That's right.
Prices are falling. And then so share and on the gold market the gold itself price.
That's right.
And I also another plus to the value we are enjoying already. And as well so and then because we have enough dollars into buying the fuel so and omko true and I'm struggles. And so why would they overburden the Ghanaian when today they are able to easily procure this fuel to Ghana without going through the hassle of going to get dollars to buy? Why would they honestly punish us? They don't do that. Also be nipa. So these are the other factors. Into say who say go born stabilize now. Other effects say eba down